Welcome back to Clarity Combos for Wedding Pros Podcast, and welcome to 2026. I'm your host, Aislinn, and this is the quarterly planning series where I'm going to be showing you exactly what questions to ask yourself each quarter so that you actually hit your goals as a photographer. You're definitely going to want to grab a pen and paper or save these episodes in this series because this is an exercise that I do with my highest level clients each quarter, and it's the reason that they hit goal after goal after goal. Most photographers that I've talked to will say that they do goal setting, but when I ask them what their process is, it's something like this. Well, I sit down and I write out some goals and then I never look at them again. And truly, I'm not surprised that you're not hitting the goals that you want to hit because you're not doing one of the most important steps. You need to be reflecting on where you currently are and objectively look at what you are currently doing and then create a plan for there as to what the goals are that you want to hit. When I do quarterly planning with my clients, I do it at the end of the quarter so that they have a few days to do this work because this is not a 5-minute thing. This is very likely going to take you 30 minutes to an hour, depending on if you get distracted or not. So in this series, there are going to be 4 parts to it. Today, we're going to be talking about the facts of the quarter. Next episode, we're going to be talking about the feelings. We're going to do some reflection work, and then we're going to set goals and intentions on that final episode. So go ahead and grab a pen and paper, and let's get into the facts of the quarter. So I'm going to be asking you questions that I want you to reflect on, and I want you to be so serious with these. I don't want you to lie to yourself. I don't want you to guesswork. I want you to actually know the answer to these questions. When we know the answer to these questions, we are able to objectively see what happened in the past quarter in order for us to decide what do I actually need to be focusing on. So the first question that you need to be asking yourself in quarterly planning is, how many inquiries did I actually have? If I could list out a number, how many inquiries did I have during this quarter? The next question is, how many consultation calls did I have in this quarter? So let's just say you had 50 inquiries this quarter and you had 5 consultation calls. That information is really good information to have because depending on your goals and what you're trying to do in your business, that could mean that we might need to work on your inquiry process. It could also mean that your process is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Depending on what your goals are, these answers are going to give us information that we can use for the next quarter. So the next question you're going to ask yourself is, how many clients did I book? So out of the inquiries that I had, the consultations that I had, how many clients actually booked with me? What was your highest booking? So if it was a wedding, maybe it was $8,000. If it was a portrait session, maybe it was $2,000. Whatever it is, what was your highest booking? And if you have different segments to your business, maybe you do have portraits and you do have weddings, I want you to list out what was my highest booking for weddings, what was my highest booking for portraits. The next question is, what was my most booked package? So this answer is going to give you a lot of information as to where pricing might need to shift or where your consultation calls need to shift. So what was my highest booked package? So for weddings, for example, it might be 8 hours plus an album, or for portraits, it might be 2 hours plus X amount of images. You need to know the answer to what was my most booked package because this will tell you what you were selling most forwardly, and it'll also tell you what your clients are wanting from you. So you can create different offers based on this information. So the next question is, did you have any upsells? If so, what? So for weddings, this might look like upsells of additional hours of coverage. It might look like upsells of albums. It might look like upsells of artwork. It might look like upsells of drone footage. It doesn't really matter. Do you have upsells? If so, what were they? Did you have any common themes or questions come up that you can address or make content about so you can answer them quicker? So for example, if you're a wedding photographer, did you have any common questions during consultation calls? Did you have any common questions that were coming to you when people were inquiring with you or when planners were inquiring with you? What were the common themes or the common questions that people were having during this quarter? The reason why we want to know this information is that we can either make a process around it inside of your actual business, or we can make content around it, like a blog post or a video or a piece of content like on social media. Doesn't really matter, but it means that we are able to give more information so that when people come to us, they are better informed before they even start within our process. I think I mentioned this multiple times that I had people who literally would quote my website to me during the consultation process because on my website, I made sure that people understood my process before they ever got to me. And there are some buyers out there who that is their preferred type of buying, is for them them to be well informed before they make a decision. So the next question is, what was your highest month, cash or sales? So cash is going to be what cash came in that month. So if you had a booking, let's just say it was a $10,000 wedding booking, but they paid you a deposit of, I don't know, $1,000, let's just say. $1,000 would be your cash. The sales would be $10K. So we want to make sure that we know the difference between the two, but we also want to make sure that we are logging both of them, because it's important for you to understand what's my cash this month versus what are the sales this month. Because let's just pretend that you had a wedding that booked you, but they're not getting married for another, let's say 18 months. The cash is not going to hit, but the sale did hit in that month that we are counting. The final question is, how many more wedding spots do you have left for this year, and how many do you have left for next year? This will give you a feeling of solidness and groundedness, and I only need to book X more people, or maybe I'm booking too fast, which means I might need to raise my prices, or maybe I need to lower my prices. It just depends on what the answer is to this question. How many more spots do you have left for the year, and what do you have for the next year as well? So now that you have the facts of what happened in the last quarter, it is time to reflect on the feelings, the stories, and the emotions that kept you from doing the things that you wanted to do this quarter. So I want you to meet me in part 2 of the quarterly planning series for the next set of questions. And if you are looking for more ways to feel grounded and in control of your mindset in your creative business, then you need to be in Grounded. It's the perfect space for photographers and creatives who want to improve their mindset, elevate their inner dialogue, and feel more grounded and confident in their creative work. When you join, you're going to get access to 6 months of access to audios and trainings, such as growing your capacity, getting over comparison, discipline, breathwork, and being more confident. You're also going to be getting weekly drops, which are journal prompts and exercises for training your mind to be more confident. And you're going to get an entire module of quick audios that you can listen to on a wedding day so that you can serve your clients better. I will see you in the next episode of the quarterly planning series, where we're going to be talking about feelings and emotions and stories that might be keeping you from doing the things you want to do in your business.